thanks for joining me again today for another Project Live catch-up video. So for today I have week 28 from 2015 for you. So it's essentially from the start to mid-July last year. So I'm mainly going to be using products from the Calico Documenter kit from May 2016 called Jolly Holiday, as well as a bunch of products from Ali Edwards and Hip Kit Club, as well as the Felicity Jane, which is the newest addition in my scrapbook stash. So let's get started. So the first thing you see me doing here is I have chosen this 4x6 journaling card, which is from the Stuff Story Kit from Ali Edwards. And I am adding I'm spelling out the word 20 as well as number 8, which I'm going to be adding using these alpha stickers from Ali Edwards shop. And I purchased this separately, and the color itself is called Monoma, I think. Yeah. So it's essentially kind of a light brown color, which I think goes really well with the 4x6 journaling card over there. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is adding some dates. I am going to be using the Project Live roller date stamp to add those dates, as well as the VersaFine black ink there. And I'm going to be, to separate the two dates, I'm going to be adding the heart here, which is from Studio Calico. And that is it for the title card. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to add some, to embellish this photo. And I'm just going through a bunch of stuff that I want to add. And this first thing is the, I think the wooden embellishment pack, which is from Pink Paisley. And that one came with the, I believe, the July scrapbook kit from the Hippie Club, either July or August. And now I'm just going through a bunch of die card pieces, which are from the Amy Tangerine's Oh Happy Life line, which is also from the Hippie Club. And now I will end up with one of these hearts, which are from the Ali Edwards Heart Story Kits. So it's a relatively old story kit, but I've got a few hearts left in my stash, so I decided to use one of those, as well as adding a wooden arrow, which I'm going to just be adding on top of that. So I decided to add this heart just off to the corner there, just to kind of give a bit of interest, but also kind of to ground the photo, the heart a little bit as well. And I was just looking through the stash of my wooden / chipboard corks pieces. So I decided to go with this arrow here, which is from Studio Calico. But any arrow or stars will be fine there. I didn't use the stars so many because there's, the shape of the die cut piece is already a heart. So I thought, I was just use an arrow instead. And the next thing I'm doing here is I picked out this pattern paper, which is from the Felicity Jane's Maggie kit. And I believe this one is actually from August 2016. So it's not the latest one, it's the one before that. And so I picked out that cut apart sheet and then just cut that up into pieces. And this heart is actually from that kit. And I'm also going to be using this stamp set, which is also from the Maggie's kit as well, from Felicity Jane's Maggie kit. And I essentially had an idea of, adding different words or different kind of stamping different things onto different color of that heart. And it's kind of like to play on the idea of, your heart has, multiple kind of aspects or portions, or kind of like what makes it full. So a bit of love, a bit of fun, and a bunch of hearts there as well. And so I essentially use my VersaFine black ink to add that stamping down. And the way I did it is I essentially just place all the stamps onto the image, onto the paper itself, and then I just use my block to go on top, and then just using add some ink there. And now I'm also going to be using this 3x4 journaling card, which is from the Maggie's kit as well, Maggie kit. And then I am adding the word hello, which is also from Felicity Jane. And then I am going to be adding some journaling there. So with this week, I don't have that many photos, to be honest, and some weeks I just don't have all the, all the 4x6 or having four 3x4s as per usual. This week I've got 3x4s and 6 4x6. So I essentially just talked about, the photo on the left of it, and what was it about? So I essentially said I went to work on Saturday morning, but afterward we went to this Japanese ramen place, which was really delicious, and it was brand new. We had to queue for a little while, but it was still pretty good. It was real tasty. While I was talking there, I added a piece of chipboard, which I believe is actually from the Stuff Story kit as well. Now I am going to be adding this die cut piece, which is from the Amy Tangerine's Oh Happy Life line, which came in the Hip Kit Club's August 2016. And so I pulled this out previously, so I peeled the backing off already, but for some of you who haven't used this before, you often have to peel the backing just so it shows the actual, it's just so it is much more shiny and it just looks much better. And now I'm also going to be, I'm adding a Star Brad, which is from the Believe Story kit. And now I am just going through a bunch of 3x4 journaling cards from the Calico Documenter kit. And I believe I'm actually going to end up with my own creation. So I'm just looking through again, just as I'm trying to find something that I want to use here. I decided to create my own instead. So I pull out a blank Project Live journaling card, so a 3x4 one. And I'm just going through a bunch of pattern paper, which is from the August 2016 scrapbook kit from Hip Kit Club. And I will actually end up with this pattern paper, which is from Dear Lizzie's, the Dear Lizzie line, and I believe the line itself is actually called Saturday, so it's her latest line. I really like how the navy and the yellow kind of play together really well, and also the kind of a light pink, and everything is so muted, which I think works really well with the heart card, the heart 3x4 journaling card on the right side of it. So I just trimmed that up, and I cover it up in a way that's the card wouldn't be kind of rounded. The card's corners wouldn't be rounded. So I now have kind of straight edges, which I actually now prefer. And now I'm just going to be adding some, I'm going to be using this stamp set, which is from Ali Edwards as well. And it's actually called Messy Circle stamp set, I believe. So I bought this recently separately. It's not part of one of her the Ali Edwards story stamp, but yeah, so I bought it separately. I think they're $15.99 or something, and then I decided to use my new ink pad, which is a red one, and it's called Pendleton. And so I'm just fuzzy cutting that out, and then I'm going to be adding that on using some foam dots. And now I'm just going to add that on the top left there, and I'm going to be adding some journaling talking about the photo underneath it. So that was a photo of our dinner on Friday night, I seem to recall. So I went to a kind of a grilled chicken place for dinner on Friday, and so I essentially talked about that and what we ordered. And now I'm just going to be adding some journaling onto this card here. Onto this photo here. So I decided to cut up a 3x4 journaling card, which is from the from the Calico Documenter kit, and I decided to outline the card there using my precision black pen, and the pen that I used to outline was actually a thicker one, so I used the 08, but to write I actually used the number 03. Just mainly because I actually prefer to write with thinner, kind of sharper pens, right? More sharper pen, but kind of thinner size pen, mainly because I feel like it looks more precise. But when I do outlining, I tend to use thicker ones, just mainly because it looks more obvious. And now I don't have I'm missing a 4x6 photo, so I decided to create my own kind of decorative card in place of it, which is on the top left there. So I'm just going through a bunch of pattern paper. I will actually end up with that pattern paper, which is from the Hip Kit Club's August 2016 kit. But the actual pattern paper itself is actually from Amy Tangerine's A Happy Life line, and I think the paper itself is either called Happy or Happy Place. I can't really remember, but it's certainly from Amy Tangerine. And I'm also going to be using this die cut camera piece here, which is also from Amy Tangerine's die cut pack, as you can see there. And I was just thinking, I don't just want one camera. So kind of just tossing around, thinking what I want to do. And I decided to go with that camera in the middle there, and also adding some puffy stickers, which are from the Cute Girl line from Create Paper. And the pack itself actually came with the Hip Kit Club's August 2016 kit. And now I'm just going to be adding some journaling onto this photo here, and I kept this one quite simple. So I cut up a 4x6 journaling card, so a 4x6, essentially a white piece of white card. I rounded the corner, so I trimmed it on the side a little bit, and the reason I did that is mainly because I printed my photo using a Canon selfie machine, and I also used their photo paper, which means that it's not exactly 4x6, so it's slightly smaller, so that's why I had to trim the cardstock, that white cardstock, a little bit. And I'm also I'm adding that piece of puffy, I wouldn't say kind of plasticky die cut piece there, which says love, and that one is actually from the Felicity Jane's Maggie kit. I really like that one actually. I think that the kit itself came with many of those pieces, but like they're all, you know, different words and different type, etc. But I really like that kind of embellishment. I think it's really cute. And now I am going to be using another 3x4 journaling card, which is from the Felicity Jane kit once again. If you haven't noticed already, I am using a lot of Felicity Jane in this spread, just mainly because it's brand new, it just came, and so I'm super excited to use it. And I'm always excited to use new things, to be honest. So, and always, you know, when a new kit arrives, I tend to, you know, get excited and then want to use it a lot, and so you get to see a lot more of it in one spread. And so the next thing I'm doing here is I'm adding a tag, which is from Chick Tags, and it's a label, and it's from the Happy Place line. And now I'm adding a heart there, a chipboard heart, which is from the Calico documentary kit. And what am I doing next? The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a piece of chipboard. Well, that's my plan anyway. So I'm going to go through a bunch of chipboard pieces I've got in my stash. I went with this one, which is from, I think it's from an old Calico documentary kit. And so it's a plain one, so it has two colors. And I decided to add a wooden star on it, using my rolling adhesive, really. And no, actually, I think I used glossy accent, sorry. And the reason I use glossy accent is mainly because I think when it comes to bulky stuff like that, it's a lot, glossy accent works better than rolling adhesive. And now I'm also going to be using this 3x4 journaling card, which is from the Felicity Jane Maker Kit as well. And the funny thing about this card is actually it's not a cut apart sheet as such, but it's at the back of a cut apart sheet. So it's actually part of a, a big pattern piece. But when I cut it out, I thought this would look quite nice as a 3x4 journaling card. So that's what I'm going to be using it as here. And I'm also going to be I've added the brad there, which is also from the Felicity Jane kit as well. So that is all. So here's some close up. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and if you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know, and if you're on YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!